What's going on? All right, I got my two friends here. Oh God,
Let me
damn.
turn off the live nubby reaction. Hold on.
I thought I had a second. I was getting ready.
Oh no, get ready. You're
You
cool.
know
You're
what?
cool.
Fuck it. You get
Okay, okay.
the whole
Look,
messy
bro,
back.
I edit. It's
Turn it
fine.
back on.
Background looks great. All right. So what's going on? I got two of the best Elestrals players in the game right now, outside of myself. I'd say I'm three here.
Close three.
We'll
Yeah, top
start
three.
with not the Pantera guy. Let's hear from Caleb.
What's up, everyone? Caleb, one of the Elestronauts. My claim to fame is getting top 4 at that one event, and then winning a uncut sheet.
There you go. There you go.
And multiple other tops. I don't know. I've
Look.
The funniest thing ever was finding out that I'd forgotten one of my own tops, and then having someone on Twitter remind me. I was like, "Oh shit! Wait a minute, I'm the GOAT."
Oh man, there you go. Yeah, there you go. All right, so that's Caleb, and then we got Mr. Third Place in the Cards HQ event, the big one. What were we at? 100 players? Over 100 players?
Over 100 players. Yep.
Something like that.
Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm the Pantera guy. Apparently,
Dirty card.
Not Ari.
no, actually, was Ari there? Did Ari top with
Ari
that? Yeah, that's right. I'm the
That's so
Pantera
funny.
guy.
Look.
I'm Julian or SlopShop or something like that. I got like a bunch of tops. I topped Dallas. I topped this. I got first place with Heal best deck. I love stalling.
We're so back.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, yeah. And these people should definitely know me. It's my channel. It's Zane. We're going to be talking about the ban list, the limit list, the most recent one that I don't feel... We'll talk about it. Let's start with Hurricane. Let's start with Hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
I want to start with my friend Julian up here, Mr. Cut Ambro for Hurricane in the main. How do you feel about Hurricane?
I recommended that.
So I think it was probably necessary for it to go to 1. I was playing the Hurricane deck. That's how I was thinking of it when I got third place this most recent weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I resolved it, setting up big plays like Pigs or Pantera or something, it felt oppressive. Even if I'm just hitting 1, I did that a few times and felt good about it because in one game somebody had a 4 and a 5 on board, and I will Hurricane your back row. Here's Hydrate. Good game.
Yeah.
I clear your board and I have Pantera. It's Hurricane. I think did need to go to 1. I think it is fine at 1. Incentivize not just set your whole hand.
Yeah.
From the very first turn, but not being able to resolve it multiple times is pretty good, I think.
Okay. All right, Caleb. What do you think? What do you think about it?
I'm a historic Hurricane hater. The one thing once we knew that there's a list coming is basically if Hurricane isn't hit, I think I'm done with the game until it is basically that was my mind.
That bad? Okay.
Yeah, not only like playing versus Julian at locals where that's nothing to worry about, but just like any deck that is worth anything plays Hurricane.
Yeah.
You're either playing something that's really low to the ground that can just really generate a lot of advantage off of it,
right.
or you're playing something that's super high ceiling, and you say, all right, I'm going to generate even more advantage off of it because I'm guaranteeing my 1 play. The low to the ground stuff is like, well, you need multiple back row to interact with me, versus the high ceiling stuff tends to be like 1 back row kills me. So Hurricaning to guarantee my combo goes crazy.
Yeah.
So seeing it go to 1, I think I agree is necessary because people still have to make the judgment of if they want to play around it or not. It's still always correct to play around it is the thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of ridiculous in my mind because if everyone played correctly, it wouldn't be a problem.
It wouldn't be, Chopper.
Even before Hurricane came out, we saw high level players like Sunseed Jess only setting 1 per turn because the reality is that it's better to keep that knowledge from your opponent of how much of one card type or another you have in hand.
Yeah.
And so at least it's hit. That's a big thing for me. If it happens once, that's fine. If it happens a second time, I'm usually losing the game, and making it way less consistent is better than nothing.
Yeah.
But incredibly frustrating card to play versus, and I hope that they hit Helios's. soon.
No,
Because that is
that's the
same
first
thing.
thing I'm going to be testing. Is just what if I'm just playing Helios instead?
Because it's functionally the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think as much as I liked Hurricane, having someone like Julian at Local say, Hurricane on your one set card, I'm gonna go full combo now. Here's a pig or here's Pentair. Try to out it without siding, So I agree. It enabled ridiculous things. That's why I refuse to play it. I hate cards that are really good and oppressive because I want to have fun sometimes, and then I lose and I'm like, damn.
Coming from the Bold Tempest player,
they don't need to know that yet. I haven't done the tier list on the best cards of the game and why it's Sonic or Bolt Tempest. But yeah, no, I agree. This hit made sense. I'm of the mind that if it goes to one outside of Arcolith, why not just ban it? I don't see the point in having the one Saki Hurricane that you're like, but I guess it's like you said, like why play around? Just set the one card, you'll be okay. Yeah.
I think that Lavalith feels worse. Arcolith feels worse. I got the list pulled up. Earthquake feels worse. Laurels feels worse. Rise from the Ashes, if someone resolves it on me, I'm pissed. So I think that like any of these cards feel really bad at one. And so I think the other piece for me is it feels like it reinforces this idea that the team is afraid to ban cards.
Yeah.
Because I think that a lot of the cards that are on the limited list either should not be hit at all or should be banned. I think that there's justification for Hurricane almost exactly. Like I don't know if there's another card on the list where I'm like it makes sense that this is at one. I guess Pharaoh Geist. Kind of, but like
I can see at one removing that card completely. I know, right? Yeah. Here we go. You see what we're doing?
They've been laughing at shit.
Something devious right now.
But the next card that was limited, I do want to speak on this one first because it was something I was advocating for a really long time. Kinleo. I personally was like, well, Echolinks is at one, Sparkit is at one. The fuck are we keeping this guy around for? Like, this is too much. Kinleo's got to go. We should just ban them all, realistically.
Sparkit is 0.
Sparkit is banned. Yeah. Echolinks needs to be banned. Kinleo needs to be banned.
Actually, Sparkit's at 3 now.
You're right, and it's still crazy. It's
ridiculous.
Well, Kinleo's at 4 now. They just printed
it. They just revealed that today. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just that repeatable. I'm gonna Nexus Papa guy. On a good. Nah, I wouldn't even say it's a good body, but it's just in. Fuck Kinleo. That's good all enough. I'm saying. Yeah, it's good enough. It's good enough. All right.
Especially with Argo into Torch now. Like it is good enough to just say I can make it a 5 out of nowhere.
Yep.
And it also becomes an 8 if you're playing the necklace stuff.
Exactly. Julian, what are you thinking about Kinleo?
I actually like there being a lot of cards at one. Not Arcolith, fuck that guy. I think Lavalith, let me pull up the list.
Yeah.
Lavalith is fine as a 1 of.
Yep.
Kinleo is fine at 1. Echolinks, I'm fine with at 1. Rise, I'm fine with at 1. Hurricane, I'm fine with at 1. It's not that these are like, they're not. It's not that they're not oppressive cards. They are very strong. Absolutely. But I think that it's good for the game to have strong cards. Okay. I think I want to be able to go. We have been sitting here for 10 minutes. I'm ending this game. Hurricane. Okay. I don't want to be sitting there. Both of us have 3-5 defenders just looking at each other. I want to be able to make power plays. I want to be able to end the game.
Okay.
Arcolith does that out of nowhere, so I think he should be a 0. Kinleo doesn't do that out of nowhere. He progresses the game state meaningfully.
Yeah.
But he's a little weenie. He's a 3-1. Yeah. You just cryoblast him, kill him, PTA him, whatever. I think he's fine at 1. I think 1 is a good spot for him.
Yeah.
I know that Fire Artifact was like one of the most represented decks in Top Cut in the first 2 premieres. So that's, taking a little bit of power from them. I believe most players were only on 2 anyway, so it's not like the biggest hit.
Yeah.
It just means once you've gotten rid of that 1 Kinleo, you're chilling. Listen, I like that.
Maybe it was just me letting 2 Kinleos resolve and that being where I was like, this card is so oppressive. Sitting across from somebody with 2 Kinleos on board and just watching your cards just die every turn was kind of sad, simply because they had the way to. I think somebody was playing. I don't know who it was. Somebody on Fire Artifacts was maining or siding Hurricane against me, and it wasn't great. It wasn't fun, but I think it's just personal hatred for the cat. Not gonna lie to you. What else do we get? What else do we get on this list? We got
Morlith.
Rest in peace.
Good riddance.
Rest in peace.
I
Unfortunately,
hate
very
Frost.
deserved.
Go ahead, Julian. You start us off. Talk to us about Morlith.
Blistrix is evil. That is not a fun deck to play against. Any of these like luck decks, like Blistrix, are just not the most fun to play against. I think that Morlith was fine outside of that. A lot of Frost decks were playing him just as, here's my big guy. He's a 6. If I got Stadium up, he's an 8. And I think that that's all. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's not great because it's still just an unconditional, or in Frost it's unconditional. You're always gonna have more guys in Underworld.
Right.
It's just a 6 you can drop out of nowhere, which isn't the best. So I do agree that for him to go to 1 regardless.
Yeah.
But because of Blistrix, I think 1 is the most he should be at. I could see banning him for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like banning Morlith might have made more sense. It really is just now it's another Saki card.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a powerful one of the way like Equilinx or Kinleo feels now. I think that those are fine at 1.
Yeah.
Although I think that they would be fine at 3.
Really?
Morlith
We'll get there.
is just such a Saki one of now.
Did you just say you think Equilinx?
Yeah,
would be fine
no, that's what
I've been saying this for a while now. Yeah, I think Equilinx would be fine at 3.
That's a spicy take. I want to
get
there.
Where are the Earth decks? Where are the Earth decks?
You're gonna find him as soon as you put Equilinx at 3.
There's no way 2 more Equilinx makes that much of a difference. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it.
You know what? I'm gonna think on that, but I will say about Morlith quickly because I do want to talk about that now. Morlith 2-1. I feel like it is. I agree that it does feel a little bit more oppressive than the other 2, than the Kinleo, than the Equilinx. Simply because this can just high roll into 2 or 3 other guys, and you're just sitting there. What are you doing when? What's that card called? Cedar Soar.
Cedar Soar?
Yeah. You mill into 2 Cedar Soar, and you're just like, 3 8s on board. Swing.
Yep.
Like, what do you want to do? Do you want to shield one of them? Fair, fine. You're still taking 3. It doesn't feel good. I do, unfortunately. There's some design choices that were made with the lists that make them have to be limited and or just banned outright. Morlith, not Arcolith, please. That's it. That's it.
No, I think there's a very much an argument.
I think
as someone who's won a lot of games with Arcolith in the past week, there's very much an argument that card should be banned.
Listen, allow Thunder to thrive. Just please.
That's the card that put the nail in my coffin on Saturday. God, really? That was brutal.
And last one, this was a soft ban. That's what I'm going to call it because it's coming back in live stream. It's the Champion of Artemis Like a Void. I would like to start with this one because I have very few things to say, and I just want to say this one single thing. I don't think it needed to be changed. Just ban for a little bit. Like, just ban it just until live stream when everything catches up with the speed and power of being able to drop Werepup turn 1 and then turbo into Like a Void and 2 other Werepups if you want to. It did not feel like the thing that I was the most concerned about going into the Cards HQ event. I just simply was like, I will have an out to it at some point. It doesn't feel as bad to me as someone dropping Majersa on turn 2. That's it. I don't think it needed an errata. Just soft ban it, just like you did Zeus and Demeter before. That's it. Caleb, what do you think?
I agree with that. I think that the hit to it makes it, or the change to it makes it like unplayable.
I agree. Yeah.
There's a reason that Necrolith has never done anything. There's a reason that Werepup has never been used to go into this Like a Void. Getting your opponent to have 2 suppressed Elestrals is something that will never happen because you're putting yourself so far behind your opponent.
Yeah.
Because the game is fundamentally about not letting your opponent have things on board. If your opponent
really
has 2 Elestrals on board, you are so massively behind that just going to Like a Void, get 2 Werepup is doing nothing.
Yeah.
There's just no value there.
Because we were talking about the new effect. Can you read the effect just read out the effect really quick?
So it is when you cast this Like a Void, you can special cast Werepup from your deck with Lunar Suppressed up to the number of suppressed Elestrals they control.
Yeah.
And then it's got the same, you can destroy a suppressed Elestral on field to destroy one of yours to destroy an opponent.
Pee poo poo bad. Julian,
it's just so bad.
Yeah, so I think that really highlights the issue of the whole suppression deck is not great, and so you've taken this card from being splashable in everything, which did feel strong in this format, to being only good in a bad deck. And if we just made all suppression cards say 2 turns instead of just the 1, so it's disruption and it's set up on your turn. But that's a different discussion. I think the Like a Void, I don't really like the concept of a functional errata in general in this game.
Yeah.
So there have been some where it's like changing a card to say until the end phase to until the next turn, and I think that that's fine because that's part of the game growing and understanding how
like that's a
card interactions work. That's more of like a rulings kind of thing in my mind.
Yeah.
Versus changing the entire way a card is played. Yeah.
I don't like the concept of erratas in a game with titles, and I don't want to get like, I don't want us to be so used to the concept of, oh, this card got banned, EFT it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think that we should just sit in Tartarus until he is okay to come back.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest things. I made the point of there's a lot of cards I think that are limited that should either be at 3 or 1. I think there's some that make sense. I think a part of why they're so afraid to ban cards is they've set this precedent for themselves where every card that gets banned has to have an Escape from Tartarus version. Elechick didn't need an Escape from Tartarus version. That card will probably be fine in like a set 2 or 3. There's no way that Elechick Search Zeus will be good past set 8, 9, 10.
Right.
If it is, oh my god, we have a different problem. But there's no way that it will be that good for that long. It did not need an Escape from Tartarus version.
So
and for what I remember, I'll have to pull it up.
Yeah.
But the proposed effect that they showed was dog shit. It's like, hi Ray, hi.
Oh man, no, but
I did not like the proposed effect for the Escape from Tartarus version. It makes me really scared that Elechick will just stay on the list.
Yeah,
it's just like,
no,
I don't like that. I don't think that that's good.
I
think that it would have just been better if they were more comfortable banning stuff and then saying after a format or 2, it's probably fine to come back.
Oh my god, yes. I've been advocating for that for a while, especially once the Elechick hit came. I understood it. I wish it would have came earlier, but I completely understood why it needed to go. But exactly what you were saying, I don't think everything needs an Escape from Tartarus version. I didn't even think Sparkin needed one. Cards should be banned, like Julian was saying, until they're okay. Like in the form, like when you look at a meta and you're like, "No, this is fine."
You're kind of cooking. You're cooking.
The Escape from Tartarus Spark It is maybe my least favorite card that I've had cast against me in recent memory. I hate that. Do not look at my hand. If you're gonna rip a random card, go off. Don't look at my hand. Anytime somebody looks at my hand in a card game, that makes me so irrationally. No, that makes me so rationally angry. I hate that.
Very
Do not look at my hand.
Yeah.
No, if you're saying bring him back, kick him from the chat. No. That is not a card that can ever come back. Spark It.
You're telling me in 2 years Spark It can't come back.
If something. No.
Brother's waiting on Circle the Sky to become broken. I think that's what it is.
100%. A 4-1 Nexus 2 to hand rip will not be good enough at some point in the future. Jertaya will always be insane because the instant they print a 3rd Ambrosia, that card's fucked. Spark It hypothetically could come back.
Imagine very hypothetically in Elestrals that doesn't need its normal cast every turn.
Okay.
Imagine you have a way that you can do something, you're special casting, we're however far in the future, and you go, I don't need my normal cast every turn. I'll just go rip the fucking best card in your hand every turn because my combo went off and I have Gorgon's Gaze set so you can't interact with me anyway. Like, that's awful. I do not want that ever. It does not matter how strong the game is.
Yeah.
Do not ever look at my hand.
Okay. 4 banned cards. We've got Drataya, we got Elechick, Spark It, and the soft ban Like a Void. Which one of these do we think cannot ever come back? Just before we go to the limits, which one of these can never come back? Do you think? Okay,
Drataya and Spark It.
Drataya and Spark It.
I think that maybe there's a world where Spark It comes back, but I'm more inclined I'm playing devil's advocate here, but
Yeah.
I very much am more inclined to agree that Sparkit can never come back and Drataya can never come back.
Okay.
The rest, the other two, could come back in their original form like
Be fine.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. I don't
Set
think
6 release. How about that? I feel like it's set 6 release. There's no way. Like, just with the cards that have been leaked through the distros,
Right.
I feel like there's no way that these cards are that strong compared to what we have seen through distro leaks.
I don't think so either. I look at this like the Ella chick, and I'm like looking at the leaks. Maybe we need it actually. Maybe this is the hero we need next set.
You just want a way to search Zeus, and you're not gonna get it. Boo hoo.
I need to play Volt. Oh man.
Sure thing.
All right, looking at the semi limits, let's look at that. It's just one card. It's Viscerous.
Leave him there. I
he's
love.
fine.
So I personally love the concept of semi limits.
Yeah.
Put a card to 2. That's fun. Viscerous is there's like real reason why it would go to 2, but I think even if you're just like you want to soft hit a deck,
Yeah.
put a couple cards in it to 2.
Yeah.
That's so fine.
I think
I
agree
don't-
with that. Bans
Especially in
and
a game like Elestrals where the gameplay is much slower, you're taking more turns, you're going to be drawing through your deck more,
Yeah.
and you have the chance to mulligan. So if you're really trying to draw it, putting something to 2 is very impactful.
And
I think that
or,
we
just give a
should be open to
non-title
more.
reprint. Non-title reprint. There you go. That resolved it. All right, looking at the limits. I know we briefly touched on it before, but how do we feel about Equilinks being on the list? What do you think about that? Equilinks limited still good? Eh?
I think it can come back.
You
I
think
think
it
it
come
can come
back
back.
to 2 or 3?
I think that you start at 2,
Yeah.
see how it changes the game, and I think that it can come back to 3 probably.
All right, Kilio is
I
new.
understand that
Yeah.
people are not super keen on it, but I really don't think it's Earth is not doing all that much right now. It got basically nothing in Firestorm,
Yeah.
and
I think
I think it'll be fine if it comes back.
I think 2 would be fine. I think 2 would be something I'd be interested to test with. Like,
Now, are we
whoever
talking about in
is
set 5 or for the next change, which we could assume is in set 6?
set 6
because-
is what I'm thinking personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we see already that Earth is going to be getting a lot of support next set. I
Yeah.
don't want to give them stuff that we already know is so strong when they're getting so much new stuff.
Right.
Let them play with the new stuff. We'll leave the old stuff in the past.
Nah, bring it back. Bring it back.
bring it
Nah, bring it back. We'll bring it back.
Bring it back.
Here I have an opinion on Lavalith, and I've had this opinion for a while. If we were gonna do erratas, it should have just said face down cards. If we're errating it, that should have just had an errata and give fire back its dude. At least it's
That's the one where I think EFT would work perfectly.
yeah.
Send him to Tartarus, and then immediately give us the EFT that says face downs.
Yeah.
I'm chilling.
I think that hasn't Dan. I feel like I heard someone say that on a live stream.
Mhm.
Dan explicitly said that popping face up runes has been a mistake on a lot of cards.
Yes.
And so I really like just here's EFT Lavalith pops a face down, and that's sick. It pops a face down most of the time, and the most toxic version of it was when it pops a Zeus or a Demeter or Hermes or a Hestia or whatever. Just I think that would cook. That'd be sick.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
Instead of what they did with Champion Likewood. Arcalith, Unlimit, back to 3.
Zero.
Cannot do that. Cannot do that.
Zero.
Cannot do that.
Zero.
Cannot do that.
Being so real, I agree. I think 1 is fine. It is sacky. I don't think this car can ever be come back above 1.
If you bring if you bring it back to 3, it would have to be like a 3/7 that only enchants itself with 1 or 2 from Underworld.
Man.
Because even with Stadium, it still would be a 7.
Yeah, that's true.
You would have to do something like that. And that also then means that the math on using Ambrosia off of it or whatever now changes its attack stat meaningfully. Currently, you slap fucking 5 total spirits on that bitch, and it's 11. I don't care if I'm paying 3 off of it. It's still an 8
yeah.
minimum. That, who cares?
I
think that
yeah.
they could do something really cool with an EFT or just a champion version in the future that is basically the same thing, except you just make the stats smaller. Like, just make the stat smaller. Make it not have a huge attack stat. I don't know.
What if we swap
Make
the
it fucking
stats?
search Mount Olympus. That'd be sick.
Oh,
something
actually,
crazy like that.
Next one up, Pharaohgeist. Back to, can we semi-limit or leave it at limit?
So
I think it's better to
I think
ban
it would be probably fine at 2,
Mhm.
but I don't care. That's not fun gameplay. So fuck it, leave him at 1.
Leave him at 1.
I feel like Pharaohgeist is another peak. They fucked up in the card design phase, and they just need to make an EFT that makes it not as miserable to play versus. Remove the burn from it, and I think it's totally fine. Make it just burn, and it's totally fine. It cannot do both at the same time. And also the fact that it has 2 different types of protection. The amount of times that people would I'd swing with it, and they'd try to shield it and be like, it can't be returned the hand. They're like, what do you mean? Or they try and hit over it and be like, it can't be destroyed by both. They went, what do you mean? It's like, these people just, when it first came out, they mind hold this card so hard they forgot it has 2 protection effects. It should not have 2 protection effects. We need less cards that have blanket targeting protection, and we do not need something that can only be destroyed by card effect, because there are not enough of that in the game, especially with Earthquake at 1.
I love that. I love that so much. I think
I
would want a champion Pharaohgeist. You know, just give me a champion Pharaohgeist.
Champion of who? Who's the
champion of Apollo or Artemis?
I don't know.
I don't know if that makes sense for either.
Yeah, we need a new. We'll figure out who it is. I've been hearing rumblings about this next card. People have been wanting it back at 3. It's Earthquake.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh man, you're on the camp of 3 Earthquake. Go ahead, 100%. Talk about that.
I think that Earthquake should go back to 3, partially because we're seeing a growth of decks like Majursa, decks like Pantera that just say, here's my big fucker.
Yeah.
And being able to interact with that more consistently, I think would be really good, because it feels like low to the ground decks are kind of just entirely phased out as a result.
Yeah.
They're these decks that can have a low to the ground game plan that all of a sudden get up to some giant stat line. They hit you for 12 and you're out of the game all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And so having a easier way of dealing with that, I think, changes the math, especially when I still think that it's valuable to play some of those decks anyway, even with Earthquake back. You just now have to make much more of a consideration of when you do it, versus, like you mentioned right at the start of this, the turn 1 or turn 2 Majursa, like, game fucking over. How you have to draw a 1 of in 40, and that's your only option. That's it. Like, you've lost the game at that point.
So, as somebody who plays one of the big fucker decks, I disagree. I ain't playing Pantera if there's 3 Earthquake legal.
Exactly!
There you go.
I think that is cool that there are decks that are focused on getting to a 3 cost, because that's not something that we have really seen at any point up until now. You know, we've seen some Pantera success before, but really off of just one player, Ari. And then, like, there really haven't been any other 3 costs that have been binding success. So
that's just not true, though.
Ooh.
Dynamax has won with Celestlio and Chronodile. Pharaohgeist has topped.
Pharaohgeist is an asshole. I don't count him.
Pharaohgeist is crazy.
You cannot deny it is a 3-drop. It is still a 3-drop. There's some other. I feel like there was one other one.
Well, I think. Let me rephrase it then.
Brulok has a posthumous top, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
almost.
That's true. That's true.
Almost every person is playing a lower to the ground deck, and I think that it is cool to see more 3 costs get play, and I think that Earthquake going back to 3 is going to kill that immediately.
Okay.
I cannot imagine playing a 3 cost turbo deck when I know that Earthquake is at 3. I just can't.
I agree. I think I'm in both camps here, though, because I have always liked the idea of playing, the game in which I get to fully resolve an Ascension line. I think the idea of Ascensions is really cool. I want to see myself go from Ella Chick to Griff, East of All Tempest, or any of them, and be like, oh my God, I did it. That's cool. Now, play the game. But I also agree, Earthquake should come back. Maybe we meet in the middle, Earthquake to 2, semi-limit.
I think that if you do that, you take out resting on your laurels. I think that in my mind, there's like a balance change where Earthquake goes to 2 or 3, resting is banned,
I agree.
and then we also hit the back row suite. And so then you have this trade-off where 3 drops become a little bit more accessible because of the back row suite getting hit, but now you have more ways to deal with it once it's actually hit the board. And I think that changes the math meaningfully, where you still want to play 3-drop decks, but it doesn't feel as bad when they resolve, because currently, once they've resolved, the game is over. Yep. And so it's like, how do I keep my opponent off of it? I don't want them to actually get there, essentially.
Yeah. I agree. Really quickly.
I don't know if we can really hit back row anytime soon, though, to any meaningful degree, because I think that just taking out back row now is just going to take out the foundation of how the game is played.
I think that's fine.
I want to hold on, because I do want to talk about that. Let's run through these last ones. Race to the top, back to 3.
100%.
Nope, 0. Put it to 0.
I hate you. What are we looking at now? Hurricane, that's new. We like it where it is. Laurels, again, I agree with Caleb. I think
swap it with Earthquake and we're fine.
Earthquake, yeah. Rise from the Ashes.
Banned. It's a Saki one of.
It is
the peak Saki one of.
It's so much fun if you're not getting stupid cards. But and people use it to get stupid cards, and then it's not fun.
I was sitting and talking with someone, I think, at the Cards HQ event, and I was like, man, I feel like I missed the opportunity to play around when Arclith and Rise were both at 3. And just, I don't know, you play Arclith, it dies. Rise it again, look at that, it was free. Just like we were doing with Quackle and Sluggo or what have you. Just, it enables, like you said, stupid things when you're rising back stupid cards. But I think
Rise for Sluggle is so peak, though.
It's true.
I could see it. I don't know. It's one of those cards. I think it being at 1 is fine. I don't know who's playing it, and I think that's why I'm saying that. Is Blizz still playing it? Like, wasn't that the reason it got hit?
There's no way they cut it.
Really?
No, if you're playing Blizz, there's no way you're not playing the one of Rise.
I think that you can find better stuff to fit in that slot at that point.
Well, now we
especially
with
Hurricane going down.
Gone. Maybe they do.
Yeah.
Maybe with Morlith going down to 1, they're just like, I'll put the one of her, like, Rise back in if they were off of it anyway.
Maybe.
But okay, yeah, no. I really want to talk about this. What do we think should have been hit on this list, whether it's ban, limit, semi-limit? Julian, what do you think? What was something you were like, Magical Christmas Land, this is what I want, Dan, I have your ear, and you'll do it. Fuck.
But I mean, anything other than
video's over.
Magical. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with this list. I'm not in the camp of wanting to hit back row, honestly. At least until we have a lot of other back row printed.
Yeah.
I want to be able to interact with my opponents meaningfully on their turn.
Okay.
So really, I think that they hit pretty much everything. I would have liked to see maybe a little more frost hits. You know, I don't like playing against Casino Turbo.
Yeah.
That's really, I think, the one deck that I would have wanted to see hit more. I want to be able to sit down across from my opponent and know that I'm going to win or lose based on skill.
Yeah.
And if my opponent goes dog form, Morlith, here's 2 Cedar Store, good game.
Yeah.
Like, that feels like ass.
An anecdote I have to that, like, I was sitting at a table, I think this is right before my Coder match. I apologize. Can't remember who it was I was playing with. But there was this kid, couldn't have been more than like preteen kid, right? Maybe 10, 11, 12, playing my round, what would become my round 3 opponent. And kid has a Morlith, 2 Cedar Soar, an Asprowl on the field, and he's chilling. Like,
I think he was sitting next to me one round. Yeah.
He was like, I don't know what to do. And kid was like, let's just go next. You know?
You should just scoop, buddy.
Yeah. And I was looking at the board and I was like, what do you do in this situation? Oh, man. So, Caleb, what is something, your Magical Christmas Land, Dan's listening to you, you're the man in the chair, you're like, this should have been hit, but it wasn't. What is it?
I think that the back row could have been softly hit. Yeah. I think that they could have put Shield PTA to 2. And just, it's a nudge that isn't changing people's deck lists meaningfully. A lot of people are already playing 2 Shield, 2 PTA, that type of thing. It just is an indication to the community that they're listening, they're willing to move on it, and hopefully they're pushing in the direction of printing meaningful back row interaction in something like Livestream.
Yeah.
They're saying, hey, we're starting to push on this because we already in the works. to replace it with something else that is less impactful, that isn't as it's interaction, but it feels a lot less interactive than I think it should be. I think Tsunami is very interesting and very interactive. It sets up for you to do plays back in your opponent. I think that's really cool. I think it is the perfect example of a really solid card that is multi-utility. It is you can play around it really reasonably.
Yeah, that was what I wanted to say, was like
stuff like that.
Around that. You can't play around PTA Gorgons.
You can play around it, but it is always in a where it's like, I'm still losing something though. If I play around Shield, I still am saying I'm probably losing something, but maybe it's more costly to my opponent. PTA, it's like, well, I can play around a PTA, but now I have to commit a Zeus I wouldn't have otherwise. Now I have to do this that I wouldn't have done otherwise to make sure my Elestral gets over. And it just doesn't feel good to be put in these positions. And I think that there's a lot more interesting interaction they could be printing instead. And I'm really hoping that that's something that's coming in the future. And I think that just touching the back row, even if it's just a little bit, to show that they're listening and they're willing to make that change would be really good. I think that acknowledging it in the video was good, but if you watch the stream that the Elestronauts did, I think it was clear that it wasn't enough for people like Kevin that are already on the brink, that are already feeling like the game is determined by who draws the right ratio back row, who draws the most back row. I think just like touching it just a little bit, just touching it a little bit.
I want to speak on that. I think I'm of the same mind as well. Again, soft hits, semi-limits to PTA and Shield. Gorgons, I think we still are, the game requires it. Like, if that makes sense, you gotta have Gorgons, but Shield PTA could have gone to 2, and that opens up 2 slots. Maybe you play Alter, maybe you play,
Monsoon, yeah.
Like, those are excellent cards that you could be playing, but you're not going to do that now because PTA and Shield are just arguably better cards.
That's one of the biggest things. I think that there's more justification actually in my mind to hit back row simply because there is back row that is worth playing out there, but it's not more worth playing than the existing stuff. Julian, you were just building a deck earlier today or yesterday, and you said, I have to cut Monsoon from the deck because I want to fit in these other cards. It is the first card to go out of a list. You're not saying, I'll take PTA out so I can keep Monsoon in. You're saying, I have to take out the lower quality card, and the reality is that these other cards that weren't released in base set are lower quality. If you start removing those from by putting them on the ban list, you're now opening up the space for people to experiment. Maybe Breeze of Zephyros is actually... Maybe Breeze of Zephyros is worth playing. Maybe Monsoon of Eurus is worth playing. There are these cards that might actually be worth it once you start hitting these way too overtuned cards, and we might actually see a metagame develop where Solar becomes a little bit more prevalent when something like Shield gets taken out of the format or PTA starts to get taken out of the format, because it has the room now to fit Breeze of Zephyros. Maybe we see these types of things happening once you start to hit some of these overtuned pieces of interaction.
I'm a big believer in, let's shake things up a little bit more than what we have, because I think there are back row. Again, we talked about Eurus, we talked about Breeze, we didn't talk about Sirocco, but somebody's talking about Sirocco.
I'm not listening if they're talking about that.
But
in Mill, honestly, Mike made a really good point. It fits really well into Mill.
Bans after.
Bans after. Get this guy out of
How
here.
many problems get solved if he bans after? Zeus, gone. Astrabbit, gone. Hurricane, gone. Arcolith, gone. Putting Zaptor to 0 solves so many problems.
Oh, man. Look, except my problem.
On the ban list React stream, I gave the ban list a 4.5. It was 0.5 for every card that we lost with this list. I think that I'd give it a higher score now, having played with it, having built with it. I do think, though, that it just didn't change enough. I think that this list would have been fine if we had a bigger shakeup with the list that happened in May. I think the list in May has kind of soiled for me this list in that it did so little. It happened right before a set release. It felt like it should have happened like right after Dallas if it was going to happen at all. And so this has felt just like, man, we have had a sum of 6 cards hit over the past half a year, which I think we had as many hit in the span of like 4 months or 2 months last year.
I think that this list has actually hit the only problems that I've had with the meta, which is like Avoid makes slower, low to the ground decks like Heal not viable, because if you ever face against a like Avoid, you lose the game.
Yeah.
And Hurricane making decks again that are a little slower and require good use of your back row to be not as viable. Hitting those makes those decks playable, and I think that was really my only issue with this format. So I know that these hits were small, but I think that hitting the only cards I had issues with, really, I'd give this ban list like a 7 out of 10. I think it does exactly what it needed to do.
I would give it a 7 out of 10 as well. My only thing is I wish it did a little bit more to indicate to the players that they're willing to make broader changes. And partially because I feel like I've been playing kind of the exact same game for like 2.5 years now. I would like it if some of the stuff that should have shooken up the game and Firestorm became more relevant as a result of this. If I could reasonably show up to locals with Hestia or Hermes, that would be really cool. I want to play those decks. I don't think that is the case because we still are at a point where 5's beatdown is the best thing you could be doing. It's just 5's beatdown, but now I can drop a 3-drop on you out of nowhere. Like, I don't feel like the
Hestia
game has
won
changed.
Atlanta, didn't it?
That's funny. That's really funny.
Can
That's
they
really,
do it now? No Kinleo. No Kinleo. Kinleo to 1.
It's crazy how we've had 2 lists drop immediately after a tournament is won.
I think I would give it just to be contrarian, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. All right. But no, like 7 feels good. Like 7 feels about right for this. But I agree with you, Caleb. Like, I don't feel like it did enough for me. And I think that's why, like, I bring not great decks to events because I want to feel something. like,
real.
Like, cause, you know, I talked to my wife, I talked to Ray, like, the one event that we did where I topped, and I'm going to count that to the day I die, was the first in-person Cards HQ event. And guess what I did there? I sat down with you, and I sat down with Ren, and I was like, okay, I'm going to stop pet decking. What cards do I need to take out of here? What cards do I need to put in? There you go. And all of a sudden, here you go. Oh, look, I placed 3rd in that event. Great job. And then the next set came out, and I was like, oh, so I just keep playing the same deck? Maybe add a new card? I don't want to do that. And then this set came out, and I was like, oh, so it's the same deck, except switch Eddie for Galaxy now. I don't want to do that. At this point, just play Pure Thunder. We'll figure it out. So, yeah, like, I think that's where I'm at. No, you're good. You're good. That was all I had to say. I also have been feeling since then, my deck list hasn't changed enough. And even if I swap to a different element, so many of these cards just shift over with it. What do I do about that? That's where I'm at. Go ahead.
Well, I know that just wait 2 months is not a good answer.
Yeah.
But God, Lifestorm is the best set yet. I promise you. It does not matter what color you're playing. Lifestorm is the best set yet.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of do want to talk about those cards with you guys. I know we talked about them like briefly as we were getting the leaks, but if you guys are open to it, I definitely do want to talk about them.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have them? Wait. Let me do this. We're gonna outro this. That's gonna be a separate video.
You're like, I can't wait to do another video already. Let's just start it right now.
Actually, let's just keep going.
All right.
Here's the end. Goodbye.
Bye.